I'm not kidding you. I already started it.
What? Why are we starting? No, it says start over. Start over.
No, we're going.
We're not doing this.
We're going.
Dude, reset it. No, because now we had to edit it out.
I'm the one who does it, not you.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna edit this out. All right. I like my countdown screen, but it's okay. It's okay.
Countdown's very helpful, I gotta say.
I literally started it.
All right.
It's on the
All
screen.
All right. I'll count down. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm holding up my fingers like you guys can see it.
Let's go.
Add a blooper reel. This is.
I'm keeping a good portion of this in.
This is a good portion at the end.
Welcome to the Our Buddies podcast.
All right, ready?
We're finally fucking back.
All right.
Oh my god.
Welcome everybody. We're back in the Our Buddies channel, back with another Bugscast, episode 10. The big 1-0. We made it, guys. All right, we're joined today with Mr. Payphone, Mr. Y Rebellion, and Mr. Sylvie. What is up, everyone?
Great, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
favorite twinkle. I'm your favorite twinkle ever. Don't worry.
We're already starting off.
Starting off on a blast.
Starting off strong. All right, so we're finally back. Nothing, crazy happened. It's not like we had a huge event happening, last week.
Just normal.
But yeah, for those who are unaware, last weekend, Elestrals held their first ever World Championships, and we are joined today because 2 members of the Our Buddies have made top 32 in that tournament. So we have Mr. Payphone finishing top 32 with Morfrost, and Y Rebellion, who finished top 8 with Hermes, as Dan, aka A-Drive, has said, the best Hermes player in the world, confirmed by the creator of the game.
Let's go.
Let's go.
If you guys are going to complain about that, he said it on stream, so you can't argue with the man. So anyway, want to start off with a little bit of Worlds discussion, because it was certainly... I had a lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of fun as well. Also, we get a little preview of Sunstrike. We got to test a little bit with some side events going on. So let's have a discussion. Let's start off by talking about each player runs. So, Mr. Payphone, take us away. Talk about your run.
So my run, very admittedly started off really rough. Unfortunately, our fellow art buddy, Mr. Y Rebellion, and I got paired into each other round 1.
It was very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate.
No.
It was definitely
It's a big sad.
It was one of the couple matchups I just wasn't prepared for, and in our game 3, we both just got really bricked up. It was a little it was a little interesting.
Unfortunate there.
It was a crazy match. I thought I was in so much trouble from I had to mulligan in game 3. I had to mulligan 3 times, and I did not see Hermes access in any of the 4 hands. I just had to keep, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm probably losing round 1. If I'm losing to Mr. Payphone, whatever, it's fine. And then there's multiple turns where I'm just doing stupid things, like putting a Champ Galaxy Wind Enchanted in defense, trying to do whatever I can to not lose the game. And I'm like, there's no shot. It's over. And he goes with a hand of 6 cards.
Oh no!
To draw a pass. And I'm like,
it was like I think towards the end it was 9 cards in hand, and all of them were just the guys I didn't want to draw. Yeah. And I was sitting with 2 Indus, multiple Chimera, I couldn't. They had 3 bat. I had no ways of discarding them either, and I literally couldn't play the game.
At that point I was thinking I have no idea what's in your hand, but apparently all I need to do is top deck a carry-on to out the Scorpio on board and I win the game. It was just a tragic round 1 on both sides of getting paired into each other, and then neither of our decks functioned.
It's just fucking 07.
But either way, you still ended top 32. That's still, you could say you're a top 32 player in the world now, which is great. That's a big flex.
I can keep top 32s as my titles for my entire Elestrals career.
We'll put in the accolades.
Yeah.
Put it in the
Now-
Twitter bio.
Did you have an undefeated going into top 8 and losing top 8? I did. Get fucked, idiot.
Oh man. But the rest of my run was there was a couple matches I definitely I really misplayed into so bad to the point it cost me both times, which definitely wasn't fun. But the meta that everybody was preparing for in Fish was a very easy matchup for me because main deck Cryoblast goes crazy. I also don't think people are expecting main deck P-Box. Something I saw when looking through a lot of the deck lists, and Why Rebellion here went through it with me, is a lot of people were siding them. I didn't see a whole lot of main deck P-Boxes. So, I mean, when you P-Box and Argo, I mean, you're just kind of winning the game on the spot.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Argo also had a huge showing in that event as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really a lot. But the Fish, Fish was playing Argo. I know some were.
Yep. I think Argo Solar was at least the Solar list that did well were on Argo.
Yeah, especially Argo, Nebuleo, especially also the Turbo Lion list that we saw with Exaltus. Well, the Lion Nexus list. That's also a huge strategy of trying to bait someone into swinging over Exaltus with a face down and just flip over. Hey, I actually got Argo, and now you're swinging to a necklace, and I get free Celestlio next turn. So good luck.
Argo plus the Nexusers go crazy.
Yeah.
That deck was just way too crazy. Even the Celestlio Turbo, like that deck was also insane in the Swiss rounds. Even watching Akshar's final round, him going Apollo reveal double Soul Bell into Celestlio, and you just add Celestlio, special cat double Soul Bell, and just go, okay, here's Celestlio. Good luck. You're not out in this.
When that happened, I was in the back helping run stream. I was losing my mind over it, and like the stream people who really didn't know a whole lot about Elestrals, they were just looking over me as like, they think good happened. I'm like, yeah, something really good just happened. And Akshar went undefeated. Proceeds to walk in the back, and we're talking and stuff, and they're all like, yeah, that was like the first time that happened today. What? Like, you go undefeated, and that was like your luckiest moment of the entire day? Not you going under. I don't know. It was crazy. Akshar also did amazing, going undefeated and also breaking the curse, because I think it's usually like if you go undefeated, you usually lose the first round.
Yeah.
So actually breaking that curse,
made it through one.
Yeah, made top 8. Crazy. But yeah, so we heard a little bit about Solar, we hear a little bit about Fish, heard a little bit about Morfrost. I think it's time to hear about some Hermes. So Why Rebellion, take it away. Were you also like one of the only players on like a base Hermes list?
I guess it depends on exactly what you classify as a base Hermes list, because
without any of the extra stuff. I know MG1, shout out MG1 with the Pantera line.
Yeah, or sorry, not Pantera.
Yeah, with a couple of Titan Hermes. They're popping up here and there. So I don't know. I feel like there were a couple other like base Hermes ones. I know I had a fellow.
I didn't see any, but I also didn't look at all of the Hermes lists.
I know I faced another one round 7. So the final round of Swiss, I definitely faced another base Hermes player.
Okay.
And also I think a fellow Ambro Shadowstorm?
Yeah, Shadowstorm was on Antitan Hermes.
Yeah, was on the Antitan Hermes. Feel free to talk about that, because I know you had a little bit of a team kill that final round.
yeah, it was. So I guess I'll get into the full run here. So round 1, I played against Mr. Payphone, and we had to have a team kill there. So I ran into Morfrost round 1. Round 2 was also Morfrost. And then I ran the Solar Gauntlet in the middle, and I got Solar, back to back to back. Then round 6 was Shuret on fish, and then round 7 was the Hermes mirror. So in total, 2 more frost, 3 solar, 1 fish, 1 Hermes in Swiss rounds, and yeah, it was against Shadowstorm in round 7. It was a very close mirror match. Ended up coming down to game 3, if I'm not mistaken, and it was unfortunate because he would then bubbled out at 5-2, one of the 3 people to not make it into Top Cut, which is very unfortunate. I really hope that they switch to the asymmetrical Top Cut so that it doesn't happen to, I believe it was Adam, Ari, and Shadowstorm all bubbled. Just, that sucks. That sucks.
On that topic as well, like Ari, like literally getting 17th place as well. It was like, they're all talented players, like talented. Yeah. All of them deserve their shot at top 16. And it's probably just a case of timing and everything with the event. That definitely prevented us from having those matches happen. So hopefully maybe some implementations will happen in the future. But on a case, because you're talking about the Solar Gauntlet, there's one that we should really highlight. And that was your stream match against another Ambro, Warlord Leo. I was watching that from behind the scenes. That was probably my favorite match of the entire tournament.
I was really happy with how that I was able to get a stream match, and that it was a good one.
You two definitely like really showed what your desk can do. I know definitely people in the back were popping off over the Falcane. And I'm just there. I was just like, this is just like a normal thing I see every day. Like, but
I guess just to talk a little bit about that match. So we go up. We both know what we're playing. The other person's playing. Since we had prepped together, we both know what the matchup is. So game one was really close. And I felt like I kind of got it back under control after Leo was able to put me on the back foot for most of it, but Hermes has a good ability to heal and play the long game. And then he's able to find runner, Novacore off the top, and it was like, oh, that's killer. And at that point, I was getting a little stressed being down 0-1, having just lost my previous round. So I was like, if I lose this, then I'm probably not going to have breakers because it's still reasonably early. And then game 2, saw a hand with Peliquarius as a wind ascension, and then triple back row and a Falcane. And I was like, it doesn't have Hermes, but it's got back row and Falcane, so I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna ship it.
I know during like a bunch of our testing prior, Falcane, like honestly, the Peliquarius was like a slight option. There other options were like the Veritaqua or the Verituka and a whole bunch of other things. What made you go with like the Peliquarius there and stuff?
Yeah, so when I was testing that before, I wasn't on any water in the main board. I was on Tsunami inside with a water spirit. But as I was like looking for the big thing on my mind for running Hermes in Worlds was that I felt really good about the solar matchup in general. So I was like, okay, if I can just find a build that I feel good about into fish, then I feel like I'm going to be really happy with where the deck list is, because I think it beats most of the other things in the metagame. It was just fish. So it was like, okay, how do I solve this puzzle? And so the idea that I stole from MG1, who was running it before, was the main decked original Galaxy. I think that puts in a lot of work in the fish matchup, and as we saw, Trish was on it inside in solar for that matchup. I think Justin T was also on it inside in solar for the matchup. And so
there's a lot of base set Galaxies going around.
And so I threw that into a list to start testing it out, and it was like, this works. This solves my problems for fish. And so then I was just looking for another starter. Looking for another starter for the deck, because it was on the Cyanectors and Spine, but I was looking for something else. And then a friend, Couch Potato, suggested Peliquarius. It's just like, well, this is a card that just searches the 2 Galaxies in your deck, which are pretty good in most matchups. Why not give it a shot? And it turned out to be really solid. It's not doing anything spectacular, but it's just a lot of the little pieces are there. It's good. It's a good starter. It finds a Galaxy, which is good. One of them is going to be good in basically every matchup. and it's just a win guy that you can then ascend into any of your Hermes ascensions.
Yeah, so it does enough.
Yeah.
That gets you wins, but not enough to where it's like the end all and be all of your deck, which is
yeah,
always good.
Exactly. It was very much the like 39th and 40th cards in the deck, but it ticked the boxes that I was looking for.
Yeah. And I feel like in that format, like we saw a lot of strange techs. I think what players were I heard about it through like I heard about it a little bit, but there's some texts going around that are very interesting. Like someone was teching in Hermes Trickery for the Hermes matchup. That was an insane idea. Like this is the world champion stage. Like these crazy ideas that happen just work. Like Argo coming back just worked for it. Like base set Galaxy dealing with all the fish shenanigans. It felt good. It felt fun watching it a little bit as well, seeing all these old cards just make their way back into the format at a time like this.
We got a whale arrow question mark in the finals.
Yes, finals. Yeah, some of the matches as well were just crazy to watch. The finals, for it being a fish solar matchup, which was pretty much like most of what we saw, that was probably the best fish and solar matchup we saw in the entire tournament. And both players definitely made that game fun. A match I want to like also touch upon real quick is shouting out another Ambrose member, that being Yoku. And when I say that name, everyone's nodding their head. They know what I'm about to go to.
We love the boss.
The Barabos dropping. I'm telling you, like, the crowd was cheering. Everyone in the back was cheering. Like, it was crazy. Like, like A-Drive ended up like showing up behind stage when Yoku's about to get interviewed. He's like, dude, insane. Like everyone was like insane. Like MBT was going up, was like, dude, he was like, hey, nice to meet you. What the hell was that? It's just stuff like that. It was just moments like that at Worlds that just made this time so special. And it really did feel like a celebration, and which was great. But I feel like we got like all the main event stuff covered. There's a lot of fun stuff that also happened behind the scenes as well. I'm a little biased. We can also talk about like our favorite like outside of main event moment. I'm very biased of mine, and that being the staff slaughter event. For those who weren't aware, we had Spirit Slingers going on all weekend, and it's just like in past tournaments that if you wanted to compete for one of the singular spirits in the bundle, you would have to fight a Spirit Slinger. At Kissimmee, it was a lot of the, I think, testers who weren't able to play because it was just the brand new live stream format. This time, since all of them were pretty much playing, it was our ambassadors who weren't able to qualify, who were able to step in. Yeah, beautiful spirit right there. But during trade night, for those who weren't aware, who didn't read up on any of the event stuff, staff were able to enter in. And oh my gosh, let me tell you, that was probably one of the most enjoyable Elestral moments of my life. I just had back-to-back matches going on. One of the funniest ones going in, I'll share, it was with Peyton over here.
Oh, yeah.
You sat down. The first thing I'm going to say is, you better tell your brother I'm about to kick your ass. Proceeded to summon out triple Chimera form and A-Bomb on the same turn, and I was just like, yeah, you got it. What am I supposed to do against this?
Let's go, my bros.
I was like, you can tell your brother you kicked my ass. You can do that. You're fine. Yeah. But no, that event was a lot of fun.
It wouldn't have been so bad, but it was hard open double bat, and then I drew into Keon to add a third one. So I was just plussing big time.
Yeah, I legit, you did that. I was like, okay, you got Chimera for another Chimera? I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, another Chimera. And then the A-Bomb. I was like, what? So Yeah, no, that was an insane. That was like a high, like top of the line more Frost play there. That was crazy.
Sometimes you just get lucky with it. Other times you just whiff completely.
Yeah, some of my other matches I had there were pretty fun. I versed a Volt Tempest, which was fun. Also, Sunstrike was completely legal for these events. That you're able to play it. Only thing I changed in my deck is I threw in dice, which I didn't see once. So I was kind of just playing a live stream deck the entire time.
You should have put more into it. What are you
I
doing?
I
Should've put
wasn't.
Moth.
I literally had a Moth
True.
Titan ready. I just wanted to play Dio Wasp the entire time because I was enjoying the cheeky Dio Chalice play.
I'm gonna be real. That sounds like you should have lost then. If you could have played fucking Moth.
Moth. I didn't want to be able to be like, hey, I'm gonna play you. I'm like, all right, great. I'm gonna Moth, and your response. I did get Moth. I did get Moth once. By Risen. Who currently holds the highest rarity Moth deck in the form in Sunstrike right now, which is really funny.
What?
Yeah, got 2 of the box toppers and like reversed hollowed like everything else in that deck.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All off 1 weekend, by the way. 1 weekend.
One weekend. Probably in one day, actually. That was on Friday, so in one day.
I mean, MBT literally has the whole set already.
I don't know how he managed to do
that was another thing.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. At Train Night, they had a little thing where you can enter in a raffle. Is if you get a Sunstrike, if you give a Sunstrike card, you get a depending on what card it was, that many raffle tickets back.
Mhm.
A complete master set of Sunstrike was completed and given out that night.
That's wild.
I contributed my Hera and my full art Hera, and yeah, that I did not get a return on investment, unfortunately.
Who's got Lumavales for me? Ian, you have Lumavales for me?
There's probably some Lumavales out there.
I need
Might be for me, but
yeah. But I'll move on to Mr. Payphone. What was one of your favorite Worlds moments going on at that weekend?
The Spirit Slaughter. I don't think anything's gonna actually no. I think I have one that's just a little bit better. It was a fish matchup, and coincidentally, I got Argoed, but I wasn't worried because again, main deck P-Box went kind of crazy. But I'll never forget activating P-Box and then milling double necklace. And so I'm sitting there like, I was like, cool, man. Even if this Argo were to go through, what are you getting here? Because all of your Nexus banks offline. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think another good one was hard opening a Cryoblast and arresting against a 10 attack Champion Froze. And I think it was like a defense position rabbit, and just going, okay, cool. I'm gonna arresting the rabbit, and I'm gonna cryoblast your fish, and then I'm gonna play more frost. Like,
yeah, that's a salute.
Honestly, I think my favorite point from the weekend was actually the end of day one. I'm sitting there trying to pick up a Walmart order because my wife decided to do pickup instead of fucking delivery. I'm sitting there watching the stream, refreshing my phone, waiting for a payphone to fucking enter his match. So I'm like, please win. Please win. It's your top 32 match. Please fucking win. And then he wins it and they fucking made top 32. I think that was my favorite point because I also posted in our Discord, like, this man is stressing me the fuck out. And then immediately that was posted.
That was me the entire time backstage doing top 16 bracket, waiting for a Rebellion. Just be like, come on, just win it. It's like,
Yeah.
You win this, you're going on stream. You win this, you're on stream.
I was so close. I
remember I was literally sitting at the spectators area. I was literally watching the top 16 match, and the entire time, like, if I wasn't paying attention to the match, I was looking to the left and I was looking to where you were sitting, and I was just like, I'm trying to like read expressions to see what's going on and everything. There was even a couple times where Coder walked past you, and I'm like trying to call over Coder. I'm like, yo, what happened? Is he doing good, or what's going on?
Yeah, my top 8 match was it was incredibly close. It was a really good match against Doom Raider on Fish, and we went game 1. I was able to take game 2. He got it, And then game 3 was super close. I thought I was in a really good spot because it was open decklist. So we knew like all the spirit math. And so I knew after looking in Underworld that the final 2 spirits in his spirit decks were 2 earth spirits. And so I'm thinking I'm in a great spot. I've got defense position Spinosect on the field. I got a Peliquarius in hand to search another base galaxy. He's just got 2 Champ Aphroses on the field and 2 Earth Spirits in Spirit deck. I'm like, I'm chilling. I think I've got this in the bag. He's able to go for a Misenchanted Curibus over one of the Aphroses in order to clear my defense position Spinosect. That's fine. I've got the Peliquarius. I can just search Space Galaxy and walk over it. It's fine. And then next turn, he goes, ascend the other Aphros into a Misenchanted Champ Lockagon, which is a 5/7, which beats Base Galaxy. So I lost that game because my opponent misenchant casted both Curibus and Champ Lockagon from hand. And those were the final 2 spirits in deck, and I couldn't get there. It was it was a good match. If there's like a way to go out, it's like just barely losing in a grade 3 game series. So
yeah, and that top 16 in general was just insane. Like we had
very stacked.
It was insanely stacked. Also like huge shouts to like other players like Mad Typhlosion and Sunflower, who got into top 16 through they got into Worlds through the LCQ and were able to, I'm sorry if there's others, but those are just the 2 I remember off the top of my head. But those 2 in particular, like, got top 16 like a little last minute through the LCQ, which is insane that they're able to take it that far. And huge shouts to them for doing so. Like, great players. I know I was talking a lot with Sunflower that weekend, because they used to play a lot of Antian. It was funny. I remember, like, when I like walked onto the floor a little bit, everyone's like, "You got to see Sunflower." I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" Opens up his shirt. It's just an Arbud shirt that just says, "The horrors persist, yet I remain," and it's just the Arbud artwork. So I was like, that was amazing.
Was the LCQ like one single event, or was it like pods of people?
It was one event on Friday, and a ton of QP was rewarded. I
believe 11 people made it.
11 people made it through the LCQ. I know top 4 were guaranteed to make it through LCQ. But it gave out a lot more, which it was great. Like, that bumped up the player count from like 71 to 82, which that still made the event a lot more like outgoing and stuff. So it's definitely cool to see.
I was curious if they would do it like how Yu-Gi-Oh does their Nats stuff, where they do like, I think it's like 8 pods of 16, and then the top 2 people from each pod go in. I think it was normally, but I don't know.
It was just like it was like kind of like a little mini premiere, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great. Why Rebellion? Were there anything else that you felt was a favorite in moment from that weekend?
I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, I guess my stream match was fun. I was glad that I was able to get that. Less so of like a moment though, and more just in general. I feel like I had a great time like meeting everyone at Worlds. This was the first in-person event that I have been able to make it to. So just being able to meet like everyone that I've played against online was really nice. All of the people that I met were great and fun to hang out with, and all of my opponents, it was a good vibe in all of my rounds. Even though it's like very highly competitive, I feel like everyone felt great to play against. So less of an individual moment and more just the general vibe of the event was great, and I'm really glad that I was able to make it.
Yeah. So like all around, from what I'm hearing and from what I hear from everyone, the event went great. It definitely was a huge success for the Elestrals team. So we love to see that. But next, I do want to move into and discuss a little bit more about something in particular that happened that weekend. And that, of course, is the early release of Divine Champion Sunstrike, which, by the way, we will have a code in the description. But make sure you guys buy Sunstrike. This set, from what I've opened, what I've seen so far, is amazing.
A lot
big
of fun.
improvement.
Blistrix is good again.
We will not talk about that Blistrix match. For our listeners who are aware, me and Sylvie just finished up a stream, which we did a little bit of testing for Sunstrike. It was a lot of Lumavale, Blizz, and a lot of Antian stuff. And I proceeded to get blizzed like really bad. Like,
I don't know if I want Blizz to come back.
really, really bad blizz. Like a really bad high roll.
Chillwaddle is insane for Blistrix now. It makes it so all your shit hits. It's great. I love it. It's so good.
The card is just, it's insane. It's so strong into it because Avalanche is insane, bro.
I like Chillwaddle, looked top 4, saw Aspral and Blistrix, milled my I then activated fucking the Frost Phoenix, and
Frostrix, yeah.
And I summoned back another Snowlet, milled top 3, hit both the Blizz and the Aspral, obviously because I put them there, and now I had a whole board of Chillwaddle, OG Iwooly, and then Aspral Blistrix.
I'm telling you, this card's insane. This card is crazy. It's a 5 booty too. We have a glorified Astrap in it.
It is a 5. It is a 5, which is crazy.
It's Avalanche. Easy clip.
I've been a big fan of Dougie for a little bit.
The GOAT.
Dougie, like, RIP the Stellar. We'll see it eventually. But
show up one day.
I'm more worried about what the fuck that Fire Stellar was. Like, who was the Fire
We'll see
Stellar?
it in the future.
Imagine it's like Corvus Smith or something.
No, Corvus Smith was actually pulled.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh.
it
There
was
was
an
a
undiscovered.
serialized
It was an
pulled.
undiscovered fire.
Yeah,
I feel like Noxid
Bro,
is fairly
it'd be
likely.
something.
No, we know about Noxid Stellars because we're getting it as the
Well, I mean, why not just make another one though?
like the gem
Oh,
version
yes,
of it, like
you're
the
right,
pack.
you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Guys, clearly it's Exa99 Soul Fury.
No, clearly
It
was my boy Ursmog.
Yo, true.
That card is scary. I'm scared of that card.
Just someone's
boy.
couple pairs.
Yeah, no, Hestius, that's a big thing to discuss. Because I had a talk earlier about the whole new fire artifacts build. The new Hestia build?
Bro,
Is
I'm gonna
disgusting.
cook some bears. Like I miss playing bears.
Like,
man.
you don't even need to play bears, because that's the thing. Because you could just, like, Urspog Nexus, now you got Champ Ash Rabbit on the field. And then on top of that, your normal cast or something, here's Loutrax. Have fun. I'm doing a thumbs up. You guys can't see it.
Lutrax is crazy. That card is absolutely insane.
Easy card. That card, it's such a good card.
I'm interested in a lot of the fire stuff. I think a lot of the fire cards are really cool. I think Eruption is like interesting new piece of back row for fire.
Yep.
I think that Tongs is really cool as like a build around piece that makes a lot of these like artifact payoff cards that are in fire make a lot of sense in terms of like, okay, now Reforge is getting you back this big artifact and also healing you for 3. If you got Volcaries, you can get a huge artifact on the field for free. And Eruption is back with Corvus Smith bringing back Tong. So
yeah,
I think that card is really cool, and I'm excited to see what fire looks like in the upcoming format.
I had a little Sunstrike review stream recently, and I know Taste was in there, the person who created Corvus Smith, and the entire time I was just like, why? Just why? But with the big thing he said, he was like, listen, this card was made without the knowledge of Tongs, so that just happened. Tongs was just added in, so, and yeah, which insane. Like Tongs, that also like new champ Bellaby, being able to search Reforge. So now you're playing around Tongs, so you could either heal back 3 or burn your opponent for 3 with Corvusmith. Like, there is so much stuff you got to keep up with fire now with the new artifact build, to the point where if you just get out tempoed, you're going to get board removal by Eruption, you're going to get hit by Corvusmith to take more damage, or you're just going to get removed for something with Tongs, because Tongs is just a removal card now, being a 4+ attack as well, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, hey, our base set Eruption might be at 1, but Krakatuga's still there, and Krakatuga could still get turboed out. So now you could just Eruption, like you could do Hephaestus's Jealousy Eruption, trigger Krakatuga effect to do more burn. Like, you're actually just bringing back, you're just doing both Eruption effects at 1. So I think fire is looking very nice next format.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna pretend like Moth's not there, guys. Let's be real.
We don't look at Moth. We don't look at Moth.
I was about to say, I think there's a moth in the room that we haven't addressed yet.
Holding the big a big sign saying "Address me." So yeah,
I think my opinion is that I think we are not going to be entering a tier 0 format with Moth coming up. I think there are going to be decks that are able to answer the Turbo 3 game plan that it has. But I do think that it is going to be one of the top decks, and I think it's going to hate out a lot of the decks that aren't able to deal with that strategy. My current take is that I think the format is going to be worked around Moth, but it won't be the only thing that you can play at the start.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another Like a Void situation. Like a Void can be outed, like it can be dealt with, but the issue is it's gonna gatekeep a lot other decks that is just gonna turn to a format where you're either playing Moth or trying to be Moth. And I do think there's decks that are capable. I think with all the new fire packages and removal, because the big thing about Moth is it spends a lot to do what it wants to do. So it's gonna be like there's a 2-card combo of Ardbud and Aeolus that is out there, and it is a 16 spirit combo to get Antaion and Moth on the field. And the only thing about that is,
if
you're gonna be at 4 spirits left.
If it gets outed, you gotta lose.
I mean,
so
it seems fairly simple. I mean, you just Eruption for 3, and then you go Chample Tuga, special send it to OG Fespatuga, burn for 2, win the game.
Yeah, like there's ways to deal with it, definitely. And listen, by all means, we're not trying to undercut the deck. Moth is very good, but there's gonna be also like another big counter to it is literally Antaion. Like Antaion can easily out the deck, but yet it's limited options for counter that Moth will definitely have its time. Moth will definitely commit war crimes. I've talked to a lot of people. What's it super insane was having a conversation with me about it. And it's just it commits. It's gonna commit war crimes. Everyone's prepared for it. With the entire package. Also, another thing to add, which, listen, I don't know whose idea was that, but the fact that you can Ardbud, search Nimbug, and then activate Champ Nimbug effect is crazy. It's just that.
What are we
apparently
doing?
What are we
one
doing?
Of the after my stream match, one of the judges was talking to me. I think it was Cthulhu was talking about how the new Nimbug has created a new ruling with Ask Rabbit, where if you have to immediately reveal it off of your Ask Rabbit pin before you put it in your hand, and if you put it in your hand, it can no longer be verified that you just drew that /added to hand. So there's like an additional, I guess, just like an additional step in there of like before it gets added to hand, you have to reveal it.
That's a fun ruling.
Yeah.
I like that ruling. It's really fun.
I think it's gonna fuck a lot of people up, though.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But on the topic of Sunstrike, there's another deck I do want to cover. And I think certain someone in this podcast will be very happy to talk about it. And that's of course the new Hermes package that we're getting. Like, we as I said, we had a stream earlier, and new Toxiswarm. Oh, it's a good card.
I am
yeah.
shocked that this was printed as a 1-drop. I was when it was teased that there was going to be a Hermes Trickery Researcher. I was thinking like, okay, this is probably going to be on a 2-drop, and then it's fighting for Ascension space in your deck, and if you can get to it, it's still great, but you have to get there. It gives you that extra little hurdle. But no, it's just a 1-drop with additional upside, which I think is kind of crazy. I think that it's going to fill a very important role for the Hermes deck, which is kind of lacking on starters. I think all of the builds are trying to facilitate something that gives you more things to do on turn 1, whether that is Ardbud or Astrabbit. And now this just gives you something to do that is directly in engine, which I think feels really good. The Cyclovenom, I think you probably run at 1 copy, and it's pretty good as like if you ever have an off turn with Hermes, you can just send that, cycle back a card that you don't need in your hand, draw a card, get a Toxiswarm. So I think 2 very good new cards for the Hermes deck that I think will definitely see play coming up in Sunstrike.
I 100% agree. We had a game earlier where I trickeried multiple times and was just able just to search trickery, just keep that going. Also playing with the new Catabasis. Catabasis. Excuse my pronunciation of cards.
Sure.
Potato.
Whatever it's
potato,
when we get the official pronunciations, if we ever do, or whatever was said on the reveal stream, we'll know. But that deck also, that card helps Hermes so much as well. Now being able to recycle those trickeries, get to recycle, like I did a Catabasis earlier with double Aviolith and a trickery, so I could just keep doing those over and over again. Like it is crazy, and it does feel like it fixes some stuff for a lot of decks, but also at the same exact time I feel like it can also affect Hermes in a negative way, because the card says target a underworld, so not just your underworld, you can target your opponents, which can ultimately set up some huge counterplay. We were actually having a conversation about this before, if you want to add on to that.
I think that it's very interesting because it's definitely something that you are going to at the very least consider playing in Hermes, if not in the main board, then almost certainly at least on the side. But it's also probably going to be one of the best counterplay cards to Hermes as well. Probably alongside P-Box as the main ways to try and counter the deck. But previously there weren't really very many ways to play around Hermes' trickery if your opponent was able to get it online. But now, if they activate Hermes' trickery and you just shuffle back all of the 2-drops or 1-drops that they have in Underworld, then that just completely stops the trickery for only 1 spirit, and you draw a card off of it, which is really, really good. As well as being able to shuffle back a Carry-On that they send when they try and go for an Ascension play. So it is both a very good card for Hermes and a very bad card to exist as Hermes for post-board. So whether that actually ends up being like a net positive or a net negative for the deck, I'll be really, really interested to find out.
Yeah. But I feel like we've had good talks about Sunstrike, so we're just gonna go around. We're gonna say what card we're really excited for coming to Sunstrike, and then I think we're good to end the podcast there. So, Mr. Payphone, we'll start with you. What's your favorite card coming to Sunstrike?
Dog Abyss. This card is I really like the whole new Dougie cards. I think those cards are great. It gives Earth a lot of a bit more viability. It also explains why my good old boy Cedar got banned. I do also like the a lot of the new counter runes that are coming in for a lot of the elements. The glacial status, I think, being a really good one for Frost to turn off Ascension plays. I definitely enjoy that they're steering away from they're steering away from the more generic counter runes and focusing on more in element ones, which I definitely think kind of hints at the future of Omni runes being hit for the second time, I guess, because we did hit Ambrosia, but I do like I would like I would like to not have to look at Gorgon's Gaze a couple more times than I'd like. So
We're
yeah, I'm
definitely
definitely
getting
excited
there.
to see those cards.
Yeah, it seems like we're definitely getting there. Dreamlock being that card that we're talking about in particular. But at the same time, also adding a new Omni counter being the dice.
Those dice is insane. Dice is crazy.
It's a pretty good staple. Why Rebellion? We're gonna go to you. I feel like we're gonna know the answer, but
yeah,
let's hear it.
I'll give the answer that you're expecting of Toxiswarm and Cyclovenom, but I'll also give another answer for a non-Hermes card in the set. I'm gonna have to go with Tongs. I think that it's just such a really interesting way of making the fire artifact stuff different from the solar artifact stuff and really leaning into a lot of what they had set up previously from other cards of like being able to cast spirits from your underworld, recur an artifact, and get benefit of that. So I'm really interested in trying to play some fire artifacts as well next set.
Yeah, Sean, we're gonna go to you. Where are you thinking?
You next. We're going next to you, buddy.
Next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Top card is definitely Dougie. I love Dougie. I love that card so much. I also love the Hermes stuff. But I'll go a more interesting answer. And I'm gonna say Twindra. I think Twindra is such just I'll throw all the new Pantera stuff in. Like it just makes like even though they're just the same name, so you're having to pick between them. Twindra being a second Blazerus, also just being able to just special cast out, just having like Pantera's like normal effect as well. Just being able to special cast. You just have a go wide wind aggro build, which depending on seeing how Moth's gonna do, like maybe we see more of that in a post Moth format. Also not to mention that we literally got better Pantera. Like that card is crazy.
Yeah.
And like literally no downside between choosing one or the other. Like it's just straight up better Pantera. But it's really cool. Like I was a fan of this set going in. There's a lot of cards that just seem very unique, very interesting. Like another card, Drat King. That card's very fun to see, especially with the existing Rock in the Hard Place builds. So it's really cool to see if Drat Kid would return in some builds. But yeah, now I'm gonna move over to you, Sean.
I know all of you are expecting me to fucking say Lumavale, but that is not at all what I'm gonna fucking say.
It's Twi'leks.
No, okay, yeah, no. I do love my little dude. But no, actually, it's like Soul Fury and the fire, like the fire discard type stuff. I think that's gonna be like it's gonna be one thing that's gonna definitely get better over like the few sets. But it's gonna be something that's like interesting when it does get like semi-solved, because you have the Up in Flames that discards a card from your hand, so you can like discard like the Soul Fury stuff. I think that's like something that is going to be hard to do in Elestrals itself compared to other games that have like discard engines and stuff like that. But I think it's something that once figured out by someone will be like a pretty good. It's not going to be like a tier 1 deck, but I definitely think it's something you're going to have to worry about and think about when building side and other things like that, because it could definitely just come out of nowhere and just like top a whole bunch of premieres. Also, Blistric's new best deck, just saying, Cholotl the GOAT.
No. But yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. Especially another card that's been also being playing a lot in those decks. That deck is Smell Tongue. Also seeing some love for that card, which is great.
That card's just waiting to be broken.
Yeah, it's and I like from what I've seen with Soul Fairy, it seems like a deck that if you have the right hand, it's gonna go crazy. But it's being able to get in that hand, and like there's some stuff to help. We got Co-Magmas in that deck to definitely help it get it going, which is great. I guess Hellmelt as well. Hellmelt discards draws, I think. I'm not so
Yes, I
sure. I've
believe.
not read up on Hellmelt.
Doesn't it special cast itself?
I'm a fake Elestrals fan. I'm sorry, guys. But oh yeah, it might be a special cast.
I
Yeah,
think it special casts itself, but I could be wrong about that.
yeah.
I still think I still don't think that's bad, especially if they want to go into Brimscale.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I still think it's still
and Brimscale is also just such a powerful card. Just being able to special cast itself out if it was discarded, which is crazy. Also just combos well. Like I do like it a lot because the whole entire deck seems like for at least for the Soul Fury line, you had to follow a certain combo path to make the deck work, which feels in a way thematic to a sort of Turbo Ascension build of needing to play certain things out at certain times. So I'm a fan. I do like it. I know especially a fellow Ambro, Zero has claimed that Soul Fury is his anti-in. From my perspective, has informed me about that. But yeah, overall,
one thing that I really like about Sunstrike overall is that I think compared to the previous sets, there's a lot more. I feel like there's a lot more engines that are closer to viability than there have been in the past. I think in some of the previous sets, there's a lot of engines of like, oh, that's cool, but it also seems like very clearly under the power level that is going to be needed for it to see play. And I'm sure that some of the engines will probably be in that space. It's hard to hit on all of them. But I think that all of the different like packages they've seeded into the set are all a lot closer to that level of being able to be viable. And I think that's really cool, just to potentially make a more diverse metagame after Moth gets hit than we've seen in some of the other sets.
What do we honestly? We actually missed this whole part of the segment. What do we think that's going to be like the ban list for like what's going to get hit for the like temporary ban lists going into like the upcoming premieres? I think they need to hit some like sort of like something for fish. That's just been way too good since the literal start of the format of like since livestream, and it's a problem. It has been a problem. We brought back Like a Void, and then it became even more of a problem because you could just put the two together, and then they got rid of Like a Void but kept the other problem that was there at the beginning. So like,
so I think I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. I think that fish definitely needs to get hit. I think solar to some extent needs to be hit, but I think the main way, at least in my opinion, that you hit fish is I know I've spoken about it too, I believe, with you, Y Rebellion. With Champ Aphros and normal Aphros to 1. And then I also think Champ Foamy. I think Champ Foamy getting hit in some regard to not only kind of slow down the like turn 2 play where you just Foamy, Aphrodite Foamy, search a 2-drop. I think turning off an ability to search any water 2-drop in the entire game definitely hinders the progress that fish is able to make on turn 2 and turn 3. Yeah.
So, and I'm going to add along this as well because I know there's been a lot of community talks about limiting and banning cards, like saying like, oh, we limit this card, it doesn't even matter. I feel like we're running into a little risky situation depending on if Solar and Fish would be hit. And it's because the fact that it's searchable. Like, stuff is searchable in both decks. I think we can definitely agree that the base Aphros is definitely a huge problem in that deck. But also, like, we're looking at Solar, it goes down to both a Nova Core and Celestlio being huge issues in that deck.
I think the weird part for me about Solar is my worry for Solar as a deck is that I think it is so heavily reliant on Nova Core that I think if Nova Core doesn't get touched, I think Solar basically doesn't move at all. And I think if Nova Core does get touched, like let's say down to 1, I think Solar probably disappears. I don't know if it survives without Nova Core. But I also don't know what else they could do to hit it in a way that isn't I know a lot of people are frustrated by Nova Force, so I know a lot of people would like to see that card go.
Possibly not hitting Novacore, but hitting the consistency of getting rid of Glimbat.
Maybe.
Like hit Glimbat and then reduce Novacore to 2. I think that probably would be good, because like that way you still have the capability of doing it. You would just require like having the stadium in hand, like going like First Light into like Apollo, like different things like that. I feel like would be like better. So like it's just the consistency and of the decks. Like that way it still has the ability to compete, but like consistency is just a problem.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of the issue. I like what Log is saying, or what Rebellion was saying, where Solar is especially one of those decks where like if you hit it right, the deck is dead. If you don't hit it right, the deck is not moving from where it is. So you definitely have to find try and find the right card to hit. And I feel like that's kind of the problem with the meta game right now, is there's so many decks where if you hit it in a wrong way, the deck dies immediately and it becomes borderline unplayable. If you don't hit it and you basically just let it roam basically scot-free, then the deck just sees more playability and just keeps being a problem. I know, so again, Solar, Fish, I think even more Frost, or even Hermes, I think those decks are so hard to hit, because if you hit it wrong, again, it's dead. But if you don't hit it, the decks stay the same. So it's hard to put a specific card on the list for to hit those decks.
Yeah, I think if Solar and Fish do take a hit, then they'll probably also need to look at Hermes and potentially more Frost, in order to make sure that those two don't just like rise up and then take up all the top slots, and give some of the decks that are below a fair shot at actually like coming up and having their time in the sun in this temporary ban list time. Because I think that's really what they're looking for, is to be able to shake things up. And I think if they don't touch those two decks that, in my opinion, are like, it's Solar and Fish like right at the top, and then I think those two are like right below. So I think probably like a semi-limit on Champion Aviolith would make sense, give Hermes a bit less of a way to play the long game. And then Morfrost is a bit tricky. Just because like if you have Lycan, you have any Morfrost. So
in my opinion, I think the one way to hit it is they were doing some. I think what they were doing with both Lycan and Bat was they had a good thought process behind it, but I think instead of unlimiting one and limiting the other, I think you limit both. Because the problem with Bat is the constant ability to just keep bringing the guys back. If you at least put it to 1 or to 2, I think it more relies on the Divine Runes, and then more ways to find the Divine Runes, or even to find these.
I think 2 might be a good spot for it. I think 1 is a bit too punishing to Morfrost. I think that would probably kill the deck. But 2, I could see 2.
Yeah, and on this topic as well, during the time of this recording, our world champion Trish is actually doing an every deck review stream. And from that stream, we kind of saw our overall, what is our big 5 of the format, which based off of Worlds, it was pretty much Solar. I think we can all agree it's definitely got to be like the number 1 spot. Then Fish near after. Then we're probably looking at Hermes, followed by Morfrost, followed by Dionysus. Those are our big list. And I think we might run into some issues of it's a careful way to hit each list. So I feel like it's going to be a domino effect of like, we hit Solar, now we got to hit Fish. We hit Fish, we should probably hit Hermes now, because Hermes is will overperform. Then if we hit Hermes, then Morfrost is going to overperform. So we got to hit Morfrost. And if we hit Morfrost, then we got to hit Dionysus. So
Dio can have its time.
So no, I think you're so right on that. I think out of all 5 of those decks, Dio definitely seems the most balanced in this format, because it's really just, it seems like it's like a new way of how 5s used to play, like back in the day. Like, and we see like as Fish right now is kind of like a more sped up version of 5s. We're seeing Dio as more of like maybe a little bit of like a slow version with the high end of being Centaur of a way to get into that. And honestly, out of all decks, it really feels like Dionysus is the most fair deck in the format right now. Like nothing's too broken. Like with the strong points really being Cyprong being able to really pop these big drops. Maybe dealing with some fish, maybe some Nova Cores as well. But also just having some of the high end of Centaur being searchable off Champ Sprouter, which can lead into a devastating domino effect at the end of the game. But it does really feel like the most balanced deck out of everything we've seen. It was the third most played deck at Worlds from what we've seen, but no conversion into top 16.
Yeah, I think it's very fair. I think Dio, it's been a very popular deck for a long time. So I think most people would be totally fine with seeing Dio at the top of a tier list.
All right. Well, seems that's all the time we got for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you and congratulations to our two our buddies player representing us our world championships. Congratulations on this season. Hope you guys do well this season as well. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification for whenever we upload in the next 2 years. Make sure to hit that bell notification as well so you get uploaded. We're going to be doing some more consistent uploads as well. We have a really fun decklist video coming out hopefully tomorrow from our top 8 player Y Rebellion. You want to hear all about you want to hear more about Hermes, more about the deck, more about the run, feel free to do so. As A Drive once said, the best Hermes player in the entire world right here in this podcast. But anyway, that's all the time we got today. Thank you so much for watching. We're getting towards